Esse.
I have a particular fondness of bandstands, band rotundas, and I collect postcards of bandstands. Now, I'd have postcards of probably 1,000 different bandstands from throughout the world. Some of them are very extravagant, and some are extremely plain. Some have thatched roofs, so they canvas roof. But all a bandstand really is, it's an open area with a roof. That's all it really is, and they're all different types. Now, Ballarat's fortunate in that it's got one of the most unusual and one of the most important bandstands in the world. It's an Edwardian bandstand. Now, of course, the story is we all know about the Titanic, and in South Street, 1912, it was October, which was only 6 months after the Titanic went down. They decided to do something to commemorate the loss of the Titanic and the musicians. And they decided to start a fund to build a bandstand. Now that was in 1912, but by 1913 they actually made a start on the bandstand. By 1915 it was ready to open. Local architect, George Clegg, designed it, and they used all local material. The ironwork was done by Eagle Foundry. The opening ceremony, there were thousands and thousands of people all over Ballarat. It was a major event. I haven't yet found a postcard of the event, but I'm hoping one day. The extraordinary thing about the bandstand is, apart from being octagonal, which is unusual, it's got this phenomenal roof. It's a mixture of styles, but whenever I look at it, I see the almost waves, as if it's the sea, and then there's a very long, sort of almost triangular top, and the very, very top is a small cutout of the Titanic. Now, I look at it and I think maybe the architect did intend to make it look as though you've got this tiny little ship there and this massive roof is the sea or a huge iceberg, and the Titanic's just floating over it. Now, that may have been his intention, but of course we don't know. We went to live in England, and then I hadn't been to Ballarat for 40 odd years anyway. But 9 years ago, we came back to live near Ballarat and decided to retire. And being still interested in the bandstand, I naturally came to have a look. And I feel it had lost its bandstand look. The bandstands are very happy, cheery sort of places. They're normally in parks and gardens, they're in beaches, and they're summery things, and always associated with happiness. But here's a bandstand that's not associated with happiness. It's not in a place where people can congregate to a little traffic island in the middle of the main street. And it doesn't really work as a bandstand. It occurred to me that maybe we could bring it back to life a bit and combine the idea of a commemorative building with the bandstand. So I thought, why not start a band specifically to play in the bandstand, some group of local musicians to come along to the bandstand on the 15th. I managed to commission an arranger to do a special version of Nearer My God to Thee. The very first year it stopped being just a few of us getting together and just playing that hymn. And we discussed it later, and the feeling was that there's more meaning to what we're doing than we'd realised. We decided to make it an annual event, and the players aren't always the same. We get different players come along, and it is a band, but it's not a band in the normal sense. It gets together just that once. It's only ever played the one tune. There's no council involvement, there's no outside involvement in any way. We try to minimise the publicity, but that's not always easy. We don't normally even announce that it's going to happen. The group just comes to the bandstand, plays, and that's it. A few words are said, just to say what it's about, and that's it. The whole band plays together, then gradually the players stop playing. Now, it starts as a septet, then gradually becomes a quartet, and then a trio, and as each musician finishes, they just put their instruments down or lower their instruments, take a step back, and the rest just carry on. Well, it gets to a duet, and then it becomes contrapuntal, almost disjointed, and just the last two players, almost as if they're not together. And one of the players drops out, and then the last player, just the last 4 bars, is a solo. Now, as soon as that player stops, we ring a bell, just 3 times, and almost like a passing bell for funerals. And everyone just packs up their instruments and they go home. And then we do it again the following year. I feel that the whole experience somehow, instead of it being sort of almost a dead bandstand, it just that one night, it sort of comes to life. Then it goes back to where it was.